Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is 13th February 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Even before that, all of you please understand we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. Some of you might be knowing the cost of the training is over 8,000 US dollars. But we are providing complete free training and all the training lessons are available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. So at our channel homepage, you click on the tab Posts. Some of you might be seeing the tab Community. Click on the tab. Then you get access to this post. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that will take you to all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are into supply demand zone price action course. And all the training lessons are available in this playlist. You need to start your training from lesson 1.1. And that lesson is available at the bottom of the page. Just scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here, starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one, according to the training instructions I mentioned at our Telegram channel. I provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. So join in the Telegram channel, and at the top of the Telegram channel window, you can find pinned messages. Click the pinned messages. There you can find training instructions. And learn this course according to those training instructions. Then you will become a very good independent trader in next 2 to 3 months time period. Now let's get into the report generation. First I am going to generate finding the stocks near demand and supply zones and also price closed inside demand and supply zones for all the higher time frames. Okay, starting with yearly time frame. Price closed inside the yearly demand zone. We got 5 stocks. I am giving you only few seconds time to watch the report. So I request you pause the video, study the report, and then you can proceed to the next report. In case if you does not understand the structure of this report, I request you complete the training lesson 21.1. In that video, I have explained each and every column, their values, abbreviations in detail. Okay, next, yearly time frame. Price closed inside the yearly supply zone. We don't have any zones. Next time frame is half yearly. Stocks near half yearly demand zone. We got only one stock. Next, half yearly time frame. Price close stocks near half yearly supply zone. No stocks are available. Next, half yearly time frame. Price closed inside the half yearly demand zone. 9 stocks are filtered. Next, half yearly time frame. Price closed inside the half yearly supply zone. We got 2 stocks. Next time frame is quarterly. Stocks near quarterly demand zone. We got 2 stocks. Next, stocks near quarterly supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Next, price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. We got 42 stocks. First 23 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. Total 42 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list by finding quarterly demand zones having quarterly EMA confluence. So I am going back in the EMA confluence. At quarterly time frame, I am setting quarterly demand zone is having quarterly EMA confluence or not. And trend on the quarterly time frame is either up or down. With these filters, we got 25 stocks. And these 25 stock demand zones are having quarterly EMA confluence, and also current price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. Okay, next, quarterly time frame, price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Let's verify how many of these quarterly supply zones are having EMA confluence. The EMA confluence, quarterly time frame, quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA confluence filter, we got 3 stocks. So these quarterly supply zones are having quarterly EMA confluence. Okay, next time frame is monthly. Stocks near monthly demand zone, we got 5 stocks. Next, stocks near monthly supply zone, we got 3 stocks. Next, price closed inside the monthly demand zone, we got 55 stocks. First 20 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 55 stocks. We can further filter the list by setting EMA confluence to monthly demand zone. So EMA confluence, monthly time frame, monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence filter we set. Trend on the monthly is either up or down. With these filters, we got 22 stocks. So first 21 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 22. So these 22 stocks are monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA confluence. Okay, next, monthly time frame, price closed inside the monthly supply zone, we got 9 stocks. So let's verify out of these 9 how many of these monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA confluence. Okay. Now we got 4 stocks. So these 4 monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA confluence. So this is about monthly time frame. Next time frame is weekly. Stocks near weekly demand zone, we got 14 stocks. Next, stocks near weekly supply zone, we got 12 stocks. Next, price closed inside the weekly demand zone, we got 87 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. For your quick reference, I am scrolling the list down and then we will filter with EMA confluence. So total 87 stocks. These weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA, price closed in the weekly demand zone. Now we should filter these weekly demand zones with weekly EMA confluence. So in the EMA Confluence weekly time frame, weekly demand zone with weekly EMA Confluence, trend on weekly either up or down. So now the list is come down to 16 stocks. All these 16 weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA Confluence, and also price closed in the weekly inside these weekly demand zones. Okay, so next weekly time frame, price closed inside the weekly supply zone. We got 12 stocks. Now let us verify out of these 12 how many of these supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. Okay, with these filters, we got 4 stocks. So these 4 weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. And also always look into the PIE column, pierced column, to find the pierced weekly supply zones here. So you can apply pierced zone strategies on these zones. That is what you learned in lesson 28. Okay, this is about weekly time frame. Next time frame is a daily. Entry time frame daily. Let us find the stocks near to the daily demand zone. We got 13 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity daily demand zones from this list. Hindustan Unilever having a high liquidity daily demand zone. Next, Persistent. This is a pierced zone, so you can't use for high liquidity zone strategy, but you can use it for pierced zone strategies. So we have only 2 high liquidity daily demand zones, valid high liquidity daily demand zones from this list. Sorry, Persistence not pierced, Hindustan Unilever not pierced. Okay, next, for daily time frame, let us find the stocks near daily supply zone. We got 13 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity supply zones from this list. Ashok Leyland, LIC Housing Finance. That's it. So we have identified 2 high liquidity daily supply zones from this list. Okay, next, daily time frame, price closed inside the daily demand zone. We got 79 stocks. We can further filter based on the daily EMA Confluence, but before that, let me scroll the list down quickly. So total 79 stocks where price closed inside the daily demand zone. Now we are further filter these daily demand zones based on daily EMA Confluence. So I am setting the filter EMA Confluence on daily time frame, daily demand zone with daily EMA Confluence, and trend on the daily either up or down with these filters. Now the list is come down to 21 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 21 stocks. Okay. These 21 stocks are having daily demand zones are having daily EMA Confluence, and also current price closed inside the daily demand zone. Okay, next, for daily time frame, price closed inside the daily supply zone. we got 22 stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 22 stocks. Out of these 22 daily supply zones, how many are having a daily EMA Confluence? Let us set that filter. So with these filters, we got 10 stocks. So these 10 daily supply zones are having daily EMA Confluence. And also price closed inside the daily supply zone. So this is about daily time frame. Next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone. We got 21 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. Okay, next, stocks near 125 minutes supply zone, we got 7 stocks. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Let us find the stocks near 75 minutes demand zone. We got 18 stocks. So let us identify high liquidity 75 minutes demand zone from this list. Aarti Industries is having a 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. Atul is having a high liquidity zone. Bandhan Bank is having a high liquidity zone. Kolpal is having a high liquidity zone. Hero Motors is having a high liquidity zone. IEX is having a high liquidity zone. Sriram Cement is a pierced zone, so it is not valid. Torrent Pharma is having a high liquidity zone. Torrent Power is also having a high liquidity zone. So total we identified 8 high liquidity zones from 75 minutes time frame. High liquidity demand zones. Okay. Next, for 75 minutes time frame, let us find the stocks near 75 minutes supply zone. We got 9 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity supply zones from this list. Now we don't have any high liquidity supply zones from 75 minutes time frame. Okay, with this we have completed high liquidity zones from daily and 75 minutes time frame. So next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. We got 9 stocks. Next, 25 minutes time frame, stocks near 25 minutes supply zone, we got 2 stocks. Next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near 15 minutes demand zone, we got 10 stocks. Let us further filter this list based on the zone confluence. 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. That is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. So with this filter we got 5 stocks. So in these 5 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. Okay, next, for 15 minutes time frame, stocks near 15-minute supply zone, we got 4 stocks. Out of these 4, how many are having ITF supply zone confluence? Let us verify. That is a 15-minute supply zone with 75-minute supply zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. With this filter, we don't have any stocks. Okay, next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. We got 8 stocks. Out of these 8 5 minutes demand zone, how many are having ITF confluence? Let us verify. That is 5 minutes demand zone with 15 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. Now we got 3 stocks. These 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. Okay, next. For 5 minutes time frame, stocks near 5 minutes supply zone, we got 8 stocks. Out of these 8, how many are having ITF supply zone confluence? Let us verify. That is 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. We got only 2 stocks. So these 2 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. Next, we will identify NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. Let's start with NIFTY. Generating a monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. So this is a NIFTY monthly supply demand zone chain. Always look into the zone column to find high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones. And also look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. Apply the same rules for the remaining supply demand zone chain reports. Okay, next. Weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next. Daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. But 15 minutes and 5 minutes, let me regenerate again. For 15 minutes supply demand zone chain, because I need to keep the demand zone in the center, you got very few. So 31 we have the recent demand zone. Let me put it in the center so that you know the equal number of demand and supply zones here. Okay, similarly for 5 minutes time frame, 5-minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. All these are all supply zones. So let me scroll the list down. We have a demand zone at 51. Let me put it in the center. So this is the 5-minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Okay, next BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. Nifty Bank generating monthly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, weekly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, 125-minute supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, 75-minute supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, 25-minute supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, I do one thing. What is the nearest demand zone here? 15-minute supply demand zone chain, 21. Let me put it in the center. Okay. Next, 5-minute supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Nearest demand zone is 28. Putting in the center. So 28 is the nearest demand zone, 27 is nearest supply zone to the current closing price. So this is about BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. Next, we will generate bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly, daily and hourly income trades. First, monthly income trade bullish trade setup. Entry time frame daily, entries on demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at daily time frame, I am selecting bullish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum order enhancer score 12. With these filters, we got 10 stocks. So these 10 stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. We can further filter this list based on some high probability parameters. First one is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. Let us filter. So I'm setting the filter daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. So 7 stocks are filtered. In these 7 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone. We can further filter based on weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. Let me filter. So with this we got 2 stocks. So these 2 are even more high probability setup supported zones. Okay, next we will filter based on LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. That is a daily, weekly and monthly demand zone confluence. Removing EMA filter in the demand zone confluence. First filter is already enabled. Next, daily with monthly demand zone confluence, weekly with monthly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone. Both together again overlapped with monthly demand zone. Okay, out of these 2, how many of these monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA confluence? Let us verify. So EMA confluence, monthly time frame, monthly demand zone with monthly EMA confluence. We got both the stocks. So these 2 are even more high probability trade setup supported bullish trade setup stocks. And these entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. So this is bullish trade setup monthly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup monthly income trade. Entry time frame daily, entry zone supply zone, bullish or bearish trade setup daily. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement VOZ, minimum order enhances score 12. With these filters, we got 4 stocks. These 4 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. And these entry time frame zones are daily supply zones. Okay, out of these 4, how many are having ITF zone confluence? Let's verify. That is a daily and a weekly supply zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. Out of 4, we got all 4 stocks. That means all these daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone. And let's verify the weekly supply zone in the how many are having weekly EMA confluence. So with this filter, we got 1 stock. So this stock, this weekly supply, this daily supply zone having confluence with weekly and weekly EMA confluence. This is a daily supply zone having confluence with weekly supply zone and also having weekly EMA confluence. So that way this is a high probability setup supported stock. Next we will look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. That is a daily, weekly and a monthly supply zone confluence. Remove EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, first filter is already enabled. Second filter daily with monthly supply zone confluence, weekly with monthly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, these daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone, both together overlapped with monthly supply zone. And monthly trend is a downtrend for 1 stock. If this is having monthly EMA, that could be high probability. Let us verify. So this stock is filtered. That means this is even more high probability trade setup supported stock, this daily supply zone. So this is about bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next we will look for a bullish trade setup for a weekly income trade. Weekly income trade entry time frame 75 minutes. Entry zone demand zone, bullish or bearish at 75 minutes. I am selecting bullish. zone achievement VOZ, minimum odd and enhanced score 12, and the 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, 75 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With all the 3 filters, we got 5 stocks. So these 5 stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. So in the demand zones we should look for. Out of these 575 minutes demand zones, how many are having ITF zone confluence, demand zone confluence? Let's verify. That is 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. So with this filter, out of 5, we got 4 stocks. So in these 4 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily demand zone. And daily trend is up. Let's verify how many daily demand zones stocks are having daily EMA confluence. We got 3 stocks. So these 3 stocks are even more high probability trade setup, supported 75 minutes demand zones. So this is a bullish trade setup for weekly income trade with the LTF and ITF zone confluence, and also ITF EMA confluence. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. Removing EMA filter, in the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Second, 75 with weekly zone confluence, daily with weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters we did not get any stock. Daily 75, weekly 75 and weekly and daily. We don't have any stocks. Okay. Next we will look for a bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone, supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes, I am selecting bearish, and zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd and enhanced score 12, and 75 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. So with all the 3 filters, we got 18 stocks. So these 18 stocks are currently supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Let me scroll the list down. So total 18 stocks. All these 18 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minute supply zone. Out of these 18 75 minute supply zone, how many are having ITF zone confluence? Let us verify. That is 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. By applying this filter, out of 18 stocks, we got 12 stocks. In these 12 stocks, these 75 minutes supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zones. And the daily trend is down. If daily supply zone is having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability setup supported stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence, daily time frame, daily supply zone is having daily EMA confluence or not, we are verifying. We got 10 stocks. So in these 10 stocks, daily zones are overlapped with 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone, and that daily supply zone is having daily EMA confluence. That way these 75 minute supply zones are even more high probability trade setup supported zones for bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. I am going back. Removing EMA filter. Supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Second filter 75 with weekly supply zone confluence, daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. With all the three filters, we got 5 stocks. So in these 5 stocks, these 75-minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone. Both together again overlapped with weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is down in 4 stocks. Weekly trend is down in only 1 stock. If this stock is having weekly supply zone with weekly EMA, then it could be even more high probability setup supported stock. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence or not, and trend on weekly is a downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. With these filters, we got this stock. So this is even more high probability trade setups supported weekly supply zone. 75-minute supply zone, but overlapped with weekly, having weekly EMA confluence. So this is about bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, daily income trades. First, bullish trade setup, entry time frame 15 minutes, entry zone demand zone. In 15 minutes, bullish or bearish, I am selecting bullish, and zone achievement VOZ, minimum odd enhancer score 12. 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced, so in the pierced count, 15 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 5 stocks. Currently, these 5 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame is 15 minutes demand zones. Out of these 5 15 minutes demand zones, we can further filter based on this zone confluence. First filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is daily and 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. So I am enabling the filter. With this filter, out of 5, we got all the 5 stocks. That means all these 5 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes trend is up. If any of the 75 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. So let's verify. At 75 minutes demand zone with daily EMA confluence and trend on the 75. Anyway, trend is by default, it is a uptrend in bullish trade setup at 75 minutes. That is ITF trend. So we don't have any stocks. So none of these 75 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence. Okay, fine. Removing EMA filter. Next we will look for LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence. That is 15 minutes, 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. First filter is already enabled. Second filter 15 minutes with daily demand zone confluence, 75 minutes with daily demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 5 stocks. All 5 stocks are having LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence. That means these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zones, and both together again overlapped with daily demand zone. And daily trend is up in 3 stocks, first, second and fifth. If those 3 stocks, if any of the zones, daily demand zones are having daily EMA, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence, daily time frame, daily demand zone is having daily EMA confluence or not, and trend on daily should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So with these filters, we got all the 3 stocks. So all these 3 stocks are having a more high probability to get the success. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for daily income trade. at daily time at 15 minutes time frame is the entry time frame. So entry zone, supply zone for bearish trade setup. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum order enhance score 12, and 15 minute supply zones should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0, with all the three filters we got 19 stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 19 stocks. All these 19 stocks are currently supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame zones are 15 minute supply zones. Out of these 19 15 minute supply zones, how many are having ITF supply zone Confluence? Let us verify. That is 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone Confluence. So I am enabling that filter. So with this filter, out of 19 we got 15 stocks. In all these 15 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones are overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. All these 15 minute supply zones. And 75 minutes trend is a downtrend. If 75 minute supply zone is having daily EMA Confluence, then these 15 minute supply zones are even more high probability trade setup supported zones. Let us verify. In the EMA Confluence, 75 minutes time frame, 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA Confluence or not, we are verifying. So we got 6 stocks. So these 6 stocks are even more high probability trade setup supported supply zones. These 15 minute supply zones, bearish trade setup based on LTF and ITF Confluence and ITF EMA Confluence. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone Confluence. That is 15 minutes, 75 minutes and daily supply zone Confluence. First I have to remove this EMA filter. In the supply zone Confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, 15 minute supply zone with daily supply zone Confluence. Third filter, 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone Confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 8 stocks. In all these 8 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones are overlapped with 75 minute supply zone, both together again overlapped with daily supply zone. And daily trend is down in 5 stocks. Out of those 5 stocks, if any daily supply zone having daily EMA Confluence, then these 15 minutes supply zones are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA Confluence at daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily supply zone is having daily EMA Confluence or not. And trend on the daily time frame should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So with these filters, we got all the 5 stocks having the downtrend, HTF trend. So all these are all supporting even more high probability trade setup to get the success. Because the daily zones are also having daily EMA Confluence, and 15 minutes our entry supply zone is overlapped inside the daily supply zone along with 75 minute supply zone. That is zone Confluence. That means these 15 minute supply zones are fine-tuned zones in daily and 75 minutes time frame. So this is about bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, we will look into bullish trade setup supported stocks in hourly income trade. Entry time frame is 5 minutes. Entry zone is demand zone. Bullish or bearish trade setup at 5 minutes. I am selecting bullish. Zone achievement VOZ. Minimum order enhance score 12. And 5 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 5 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With all the 3 filters, we got 7 stocks. Currently, these 7 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for hourly income trade, and entry time frame is 5 minutes demand zones. So out of these 7 5 minutes demand zones, how many are having ITF zone confluence, demand zone confluence? Let us verify. That is 5 minutes demand zone with 15 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. So from these 7 stocks, we got 4 stocks. So in these 4 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zones. If any of the 15 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, then these 5 minute zones might be having high probability to get the success. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence 15 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter 15 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence or not. So none of those stocks are having EMA confluence, 15 minute zones. But now we will check whether 5 minutes, 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Second filter 5 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. Next, third filter 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 4 stocks. That means in these 4 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. Both together again overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. That means these 5 minute zones are fine-tuned zones within 75 minutes and 15 minutes. Okay. Because all are fine-tuned zones inside the 75, if 75 minute zone is having daily EMA confluence when the trend is uptrend, then they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. So let's verify on these 2 stocks, third and fourth. So in the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter. If 75 minutes demand zone is having a daily EMA confluence or not, but at the same time trend on the 75 minutes should not be sideways, it should be up because it is a bullish trade setup. With these filters, we got 1 stock. So this is a demand zone is even more high probability trade setup supported demand zone. So this is about bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame is 5 minutes. Entry zone is supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 5 minutes, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated, opposing zone, minimum order enhancer score 12. 5 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 5 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With all the 3 filters, we got 20 stocks. All these 20 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for hourly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 5 minute supply zones. So these are all first 15 5 minute supply zones. I am scrolling the list down. So total 20 stocks. Out of these 20 stocks, how many of these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zone? So let us verify ITF supply zone confluence. So in the supply zone confluence, I am enabling the filter 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone confluence. With this filter, we got 14 stocks out of 20. In these 14 stocks, these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. And 15 minutes trend is a downtrend in all these stocks. If any of the 15 minute supply zones are having daily EMA confluence, probably those zones might get some more additional probability to get the success. Let's verify. The EMA confluence, 15 minutes time frame, 15 minutes supply zone is having daily EMA confluence or not. Let's verify. So none of those 15 minute supply zones are having daily EMA confluence. Okay, fine. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. I am removing this EMA filter. That is 5 minutes, 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. So in the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, 5 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. Third filter, 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 7 stocks. In all these 7 stocks, these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. Both together again overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. And 75 minute supply zone, these 5 supply zones, the last 5 supply zones are having a downtrend. The last 5 stocks are having downtrend. So let us verify if the 75 minute supply zones in the last 5 stocks, if they are having any daily EMA confluence or not. If EMA confluence is there, those stocks are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. So in the EMA confluence, at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter. 75 minute supply zone is having daily EMA confluence or not, but at the same time, trend on the 75 minutes should not be sideways. It should be down because it is bearish trade setup. So none of those stocks are having zone EMA confluence. So this is about bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. Okay. Now final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. First 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. I am scrolling the list down. Any of the stock you want to refer, there you pause the video, refer the values, and then you can proceed further later. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.